Okay, today we're going to be showing you how to replace the 103-240 and the 103-245 cartridges on the Banner 141-600 diaphragm pressure balance valve. This valve is used in Banner series 540, 580, 660, and 700 series tub and shower faucets. The first thing you want to do is make sure the water to the home or unit is shut off. We also recommend turning on another faucet close to the unit in order to relieve any back pressure on the valve. You'll need to remove the handle and faceplate off the front of the valve in order to gain access to the front of the valve. Looking at the front of the valve, you should see markings showing H and C and one that shows up as well. If these are not in the correct position, check the back of the valve. The back corner tab back here should say up. If it does not, it's possible the valve is positioned in the wall incorrectly. You can contact us for further assistance regarding what to do with that. Next, you will find 4 screws in a diamond pattern on the front of the valve. You'll want to use a Phillips head screwdriver to remove these screws. Next, you'll want to pull the front of the valve off and set it down in the same direction it came off. Now you'll be looking at the 103-240 diaphragm cartridge. Simply pull the cartridge out in the same direction and set it down in the same direction you pulled it out. The new one will go should go in the same direction. You'll note there's an H on one side of the cartridge and a C on the other. The H needs to go in on the left side as the cartridge is being placed into the valve. It is imperative that the H is placed in correctly. This way the cartridge will seat in the front of the valve when you replace it, will seat correctly and you won't have leaks. If it is not, the cartridge will behave as if it is seated, but as you can see it will pop out of place. Then when you put the front of the valve back on, you will have a gap between the front of the valve and the cartridge. And as you tighten down the screws, it will bend the tabs of the front of the valve since it's brass and brass is a soft metal. This will cause leaks. So be sure you have the cartridge in the correct direction with the H on the left as it's going into the valve. Next, put the front of the valve back on. Make sure your H is on the left, C is on the right, and the up is at the top of the valve of the diamond pattern. Next, you'll want to replace the 4 screws. Turn your water on and check for leaks. Then replace the faceplate and the handle. Replacing the 103-245 cartridge, you want to follow the same steps as replacing the 240 cartridge. Simply take off the front of the valve, remove the small O-ring that is on the stem, and then remove the safety stop. Next, turn the valve front upside down and push down on the stem. This will release the cartridge. You'll want to take it out and set it down in the same direction it came out. This way you can replace the new one and put it down in the same direction and seat it down inside the valve. You'll also notice there is a small Teflon or nylon washer inside the valve. This is there simply to keep the valve quiet when you're turning it on and off. It does not have anything to do with the function of the valve per se. If it is missing, it's not your faucet will still work correctly, etc. But if you do want to replace one, just contact us. We'll be glad to send one to you. So make sure this is seated correctly and it is turning on and off. Next, you'll want to replace the safety stop and the O-ring. Put the valve front back on with the up in the up position, H on the left, C on the right. Replace the 4 screws that you see here. Tighten them down. Turn your water back on and check for leaks. You will want to run the water for approximately 1 to 2 minutes to flush any debris you have in the lines through the valve, so there won't be any further damage to the diaphragm pressure balance valve. If you have any questions or concerns, you can contact us at www.bannerfaucets.com or at 877-235-9008. Thank you.